couple weeks ago, I was in my local LNS and I ran into some lovely ladies who were visiting, going to the Nashville Needleworks retreat, and we got to talking, and they had mentioned how, they had a lot of questions about the Cricut. Is it worth the investment? If I already have one, how do I maximize its usage? How can I, use it to make my needlepoint life a little bit more efficient, and kind of utilize this resource, which maybe, typically before I did needlepoint, I thought it was only for making stickers or cutting fabric, but there's so much more it can do. So over the next few videos, I wanted to do a few quick, well, I say quick, but they're always like 20 minutes long, Cricut tutorials, just to show you how you can use them at home and hopefully maybe make some of that self-finishing a little bit easier, help you get some designs that you've got in your head down on canvas. So if there is anything else that you guys really want to know, let me know, but we're probably going to start with, how to make the shapes, how to cut out your board, how to make unique shapes. It'll be a few different videos. There's no official schedule or release date or anything like that because I'm just not that organized, but hopefully in the next few weeks they will kind of be popping up here or there and you can find them helpful. The first video that we're going to do today is how to cut out your boards for standard shapes. So when I say a standard shape, I mean squares, rectangles, circles, ovals, the things that you're really making most of the time. So today we are going to take this lovely piece I think it's by maybe Needlepoint, and we're going to cut out the boards for it. One really important thing to do before you measure is that you want to make sure that your piece has been blocked ahead of time, because if it is not blocked, essentially everything will do today, you'll get kind of a slightly off piece. So highly recommend that you block it ahead of time, just to ensure accuracy. So for the next part of the video, I'm going to show you how to measure your piece, and then I'll show you how to input it into Design Space and what that final product will look like. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so you're gonna get your finished piece and then you're going to grab a measurement tool. So I am using calipers, but you can use a ruler, measuring tape, whatever you're most comfortable with. I do like calipers because they are a little bit more precise, but ultimately it's going to be up to you. So then what you're going to do is measure both the length and the width of your piece. And you want to measure the same line on both sides. So we're going to go at the top of the flag here. Okay. So it looks like this is about 3.68 inches across. Typically, I will actually measure, if I'm using calipers, in millimeters, just because it's a little bit more accurate. So, okay. So this is about 92.8 millimeters across. Okay, and then height-wise, looks like it's actually a little bit longer than it is tall. So we will just measure that. And it looks like it is going to be about 95.7 tall. So we'll just want to keep those measurements. Again, I'm working in millimeters just because I think it is a little bit more precise, but if you are used to using inches, that's totally fine as well. Okay, so now that we have our measurement, we're just going to go over to the Cricut and have it make this shape for us. Over to Design Space, which is the complimentary software that comes with your Cricut, and we're going to click New Project. And then I have my Design Space in metric. If you prefer inches, you will want to change your settings. So to do that, you'll go over to these three little bars, go down to Settings, and then click Imperial if you want inches. but for my purpose, we'll go ahead and stay in metric. I do find that metric is a little bit more precise, which is why I like to use it. Okay, so now we have kind of our blank canvas. We're going to go over and find the shape that best fits our piece. So as you guys know, this was kind of like a square-ish shape. So we'll go over to shapes and then click the shape that is the closest one. These shapes aren't firm in their sizing, so if I need like a rectangle, I can click the square and then change the dimensions. If I need an oval, I can do the circle, and so forth. Okay, so then I have selected square, and then now I'm just going to make it the size that I measured. So it was 92.8 millimeters wide. So right now this is actually showing in centimeters, so I'm just going to move this decimal. Okay, and as you guys can see, it changed both sides, and that's because this lock right here is locked. So this lock is really great once you have the shape you want. If you need to change the size, having it locked will allow you to change the sides on both shapes, but right now I want to change them independently. So what I'm going to do is unlock it, so that way they don't affect each other. And then my width will be the same, but I can go in and put my height in there, which was slightly different. Okay, so that is the shape I want, and as you guys remember in measuring, it was slightly taller than it was wide. So now that I'm happy with that, I'll just go ahead and click that. Okay, so then this is what I will use as my base template. So typically I don't use this template for finishing, but I do like to have it on hand because it will allow me to adjust my other pieces as needed. At present, it measures exactly the same as my stitch piece. So for my purposes, I typically like my needlepoint board to be slightly smaller than my fabric board, just because once you wrap the needlepoint around the board, it does get a little bit thicker. So to do that, you're going to right click on the shape and click duplicate. So this gives us a shape that looks just like that, and I'm going to edit it to make it fit the front. So typically for my needlepoint side, I will go about 1/5 of an inch smaller than what the board is. So in millimeters, that is going to be about 5 millimeters. So right now I'm going to keep this locked because I want whatever happens here to happen here as well. And I'm going to subtract 5 millimeters from one side. It doesn't matter which side you do it from because it will, again, change both if your lock is still locked. So I would just do whichever side has like the easier math for you. Okay, and as you can see, it is pretty close. Looks like this they did change it a little bit more just because of how the rounding is on the shape, but it honestly won't super be noticeable. Okay, so then this is going to be my needlepoint side, and I just want to make a note. So to do that, I'll go over here to text, write what I want to, and then overlap it with my design. And then I'll go up here and change it from a cut to a pen because I don't want to cut it out. I just want to have it written on there for me later. And then you can get a bunch of different adapters. For this purpose, I'll probably have it written in pen, but if you wanted to have it written in like pencil, that probably would be better long term because the ink's not going to kind of seep through. Okay, and then I want a board for my fabric side. So I'm going to go back to my base, make a duplicate, and typically for the fabric side, I do suggest that it is about a 1/6 of an inch smaller than the primary one. So that's going to be about 4 millimeters that we're going to take out. Okay, so as you guys can see, this board is just slightly bigger than this one, and then slightly smaller than kind of the base. Okay, so then what we will do is just make a note, place it over, and then again, you can adjust the size as you want there, and make a note that you want it to be drawn and not cut out. Okay, so now when we go to make it, we can see kind of what this final product will look like. Okay, and so now you guys see how right now the text is not on the boards, and then I'm cutting out 3 boards when really I only need 2. So what to do to get around that, you'll just go back to the page you're working. The board that you were using, when you click on it, it highlights on the sidebar. So I clicked it there. And then you will just click this I. So clicking that I means the data is still there. You can recover it whenever you want, but it's not going to print out with the other stuff. And then if we want our text and our boards to stay together, we need to paperclip them or attach them together. So what I'll do there is select the 2 things I want. So first clicking the box, and then I'll hold down the shift button and click the text as well and go down and press attach. If you are having trouble kind of clicking the 2 things you want, another option is to do it over here. So I'll click the shape, and as you can see, it automatically highlights where it is on the canvas. Hold down the shift button, click the other thing I want attached, attach it. Okay. And then now if we go to make it, you can see it's going to give us 2 boards that are very close but slightly different. And that is going to be what we want. So I'm going to cancel that because the final printing will be a different tutorial. But basically what we will do now is go to save. You can add it to collections. So here I have finishing templates, and then give it a title so you can remember it. And this is helpful if you maybe have the design, but you don't have time to cut the board out now, or whatever reason it might be. And then you will just save it. Okay, so once it's saved, let's say you come back later and you're ready to go ahead and cut them out. You'll go to My Projects, open up the file that you had made, and then if you want to make any changes, press Customize. If not, you would press Make It. And then now typically what I would do is press Make It. It'll show you a preview, and if that looks good, you'll press Continue, and then that will take you to the last page to go ahead and print out your shape. That will be kind of its own tutorial about like what settings to pick and whatnot. But for now, this is kind of everything that you need to know about how to upload the shape. And then I'll show you how to upload some weird shapes in the next few videos. And then finally, I'll do that kind of tutorial about how to do the final cutout and, put everything together. Okay, perfect. Well, let me know if you guys have any questions. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it helpful. A few things kind of on the docket for the next few weeks, but again, there's no like official calendar or anything like that. But I do want to put together a tutorial for you guys about using your Cricuts to draw designs on canvas. Laura, She Stitches, has some really great highlights saved, so I would recommend going to her page and checking them out. Some other things that we'll work on, how to upload a weird design into the Cricut so you can have the Cricut cut it out for you. I don't know about you guys, I'm really bad at weird shapes. So I love that the Cricut can do it for me, and it's so easy to do. So I'll make one tutorial showing you how to use an Apple Pencil and an iPad. If that's something that you have been, considering getting, this will allow you to see how it works in action and if it is something that you would find useful. But I'll also do a tutorial showing you how to upload a shape without an Apple Pencil and without a Cricut. So if there is anything else you want to see, let me know. I'll try to get these out, I don't know, at some point. I'm trying my best. But if you do, have any ideas, let me know and I will try to make them for you. However, some of these do require that I stitch additional pieces, so they can take a little bit longer. But Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.